Hey, what is going on, guys? Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Here to talk about the 3-game NBA slate on Saturday. If it's your first time watching, my name is DK, and again, we'll be talking about the NBA DFS slate. Also cover content for NFL DFS as well as Prize Picks. Prize Picks, they're sponsor of the video. I got hooked in basically everything today, but still having a lot of fun over on Prize Picks. If you guys are a first-time user, you can use my code DKDFS. That will give you a 100% match up to $100. Also, link is in the description below. Basically, you deposit $100 using my code. That's a free $100 to play with on the site. And how it works is a player prop site where you can pick 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 6 player props. Can actually win up to 25x your money. So if you guys want to give it a try, again, make sure to use that code. And if you're looking for more in-depth content, you can check out my Patreon. A lot of different packages. That is also linked down below. But all right, let's recap my lineup here from tonight, and then we can move on to this 3-game slate. So tonight, looking like a solid night. Could have been a massive night if the Memphis Pelicans game didn't turn into a random blowout, because I had Ja Morant at low ownership smashing, had 46 through 3 quarters. No chance. Doesn't touch the court in the fourth quarter. So that was really, really tilting. But yeah, rest of my lineup: Anthony Simons, Wiggins, Ben Simmons, Okongwu, Jose Alvarado, Draymond Green, and Colin Sexton, who's not closing. My boy MAW is actually closing over him, but Sexton still had a good game. Yeah, I was moving some stuff around. I wanted to play my boy Nurkic. But then we got, Capella ruled out news. I was like, all right, I have to play Okongwu. And we still had like a lot of news kind of up in the air. So I didn't want to put too much into that first game. And that was actually a reason why I didn't play Shake Milton. He went off too, which was really tilting. But yeah, still going to be a good day overall, cashing in tournaments, even with the random blowout to Ja Morant. So, and Ben Simmons fouled out as well. But yeah, so that's a recap there. All right, let's talk about this 3-game slate. We started off with Oklahoma City and Houston. Oklahoma City on a small game on a small slate. It's literally what nightmares are made of, man. Let's start with easy things to talk about here. And Oklahoma City coach did say that no one's going to rest or see limited minutes on a back-to-back. I don't know if I believe that. But yeah, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So the game went to overtime. I played 40 minutes in overtime, so 35 minutes in regulation. 10.6K is a lot, but it's a great match against Houston. I love targeting players against this Houston Rockets team. And Shai just does everything for the team. So I think he's a pretty good spend up there at the top. Josh Giddey, 6.9K. His minutes can fluctuate a little bit. There's games where like randomly he'll get benched in the second half. So like his minutes have been a bit up and down. Most of the time, he's going to play like low 30s minutes, which kind of just makes him a decent option in the mid-range. Has gone for 40 fancy points in 3 of the last 4 games. Lou Dort also, normally plays low 30s minutes. He's kind of just there for me. Don't love him, don't hate him. The rest is where it just gets really tricky. So they actually did only play 10 guys tonight. Pokusevski started, played 32 minutes. He's not a bad point per minute guy. It's just like, yeah, like look at the last 5 games. 37, then 14, then 14, then 29, then 32. So like, yes, I do have interest in Pokusevski. If you told me he played 33 minutes, I would have a good amount of interest. It's just, there's also a very good chance he plays 15 minutes and gets benched. So, he's definitely in play for tournaments. Williams also started. He only played 20 minutes, though. Again, his minutes have been all over the place. 28, 34, 26, 30, 20. So, like, he is only 4-4. Again, playable in tournaments. JRE played 20 minutes off the bench. There's been, his minutes also all over the place. 28, 22, 35, 20. He's relatively cheap, though. You saw a little bit of rotation minutes for Trey Mann, only 13 minutes. Baisley, good point per minute guy, but like his minutes have been down 4, then 18, then 13, then 20. You saw Kenneth Williams play 33 minutes off the bench. That's what I'm talking about. Min price, he's like, looking like he's almost out of the rotation. And then he just plays 33 minutes here. There's no rhyme or reason. They could dust off a couple more guys if they wanted to. That's just the tricky part. So there are some playable guys here outside of Shai, Giddey, and Dort. It's just like, don't be surprised if any of these guys, don't be surprised if these guys let you down, right? Like if you play one of these secondary Thunder guys, you cannot be mad if they get randomly benched because there's a good chance that can happen. All right, moving on to Houston. So Houston, Eric Gordon did not play tonight, but it was only due to injury maintenance. So I would assume he's back. We'll keep an eye on that. Sengun also missed due to a groin. That's pretty significant as well. Two easy guys to talk about here are the two guards, KPJ and Jalen Green. They should play a lot. Kevin Porter Jr., a little bit of a higher floor, can do more of the peripheral stats. Jalen Green, a little bit riskier, a little bit more scoring dependent, but both guards are definitely viable. I don't think either are priority plays, but they've been playing a lot of minutes. I expect mid-30s minutes for both those guards. The secondary options kind of depends on the injury. So, like, if they sit Gordon and Sengun again, then we can start looking at guys like KJ Martin, who had a phenomenal game starting, went for 44 fantasy points. Tari Eason still found a way to not play more minutes, but he's a good point per minute guy. Jabari Smith saw a lot more run with those two guys out. He played 38 minutes. He would look a lot better. I don't know if Fernando would play at a back-to-back. It was his first game back in like over a month. So like if Sengun and Fernando are out, then maybe you get Usman Garuba starting, or they could just go small and start Jabari Smith. So there's just like a lot of different ways this Rockets team can go. And it really depends on, again, Gordon and Sengun. If they're both in, then like you can still look to guys like Jabari Smith and KJ Martin. They just become much riskier. All right, Lakers and Spurs. So Beverly is suspended 3 games, so he won't be back for this one. And they did start Dennis Schroeder last game, so I think they're going to start the same starting lineup. LeBron also said he expects to play in this game. That's a back-to-back. He said he expects to play. Now, decent matchup here against the Spurs. I think Anthony Davis would be the guy that I would prefer. AD's been on a tear. Even had a big game with LeBron back on for 57 fantasy points, but he's not cheap, right? $11,000. Where LeBron James played 33 minutes, was solid. We had a LeBron-esque game, 21, 8, and 5. He's there. I think I'd rather get to AD. Westbrook minutes were down, only played 19. I would expect him to play a bit more, but still too pricey with LeBron back. The secondary options are in play, though. Lonnie Walker still played solid minutes. He's been a big part of this rotation. I think he's a good option in the mid-range. I don't mind Austin Reeves. He's been playing, around 30 minutes. So Lonnie, Reeves, both in play. And then I like Dennis Schroeder. He played 29 minutes. I'm not going to be super, super productive playing with some of these high-usage Lakers, but only 3.8K, does have shooting guard eligibility. I like him quite a bit. Troy Brown, 3.4K. He's playable as well. Low usage guy, but 29 minutes. Yeah, I think he's totally fine at close to min price. Kendrick Nunn saw some rotation minutes. He saw a little bit of rotation minutes for guys like Bryant and Gabriel. They're more just dart throws. So that's the Lakers. Moving on to the Spurs. So the Spurs ran a much tighter rotation this game. They gave their starters a lot of run. Here, let me bring it up on my phone here. I don't know if they're going to do similar rotation because of Popovich, but basically 9 guys played. All the starters except for Pirtle played over 30 minutes. You saw 21 for Zach Collins, 22 for Langford, 14 for Branham, and 12 for Roby. So with that being said, I still don't know if there's any standouts. I would say probably Keldon and Trey Jones, point per dollar, probably the guys that look the best. Keldon's been not great recently. 5 of 15, 4 of 20, 2 of 9, 6 of 23. But hey, he's getting a lot of shots up. Eventually, he'll have a good shooting game. Trey Jones, a guy that will have the ball in his hands a lot. I think he looks decent. Pirtle, the minutes haven't been great on him. There has been some blowouts. He did deal with a little bit of foul trouble. Would expect probably low 30s minutes if he can stay out of foul trouble. Vassell, should play a lot, but his price is the highest of the main 4 guys. Bassio's out of the rotation last game. If Zach Collins plays again on a back-to-back, I actually think he's my favorite Spur. Only 4.2K. Good point per minute guy. And again, we'll play that backup 5 role. Jeremy Sohan also had a huge game. I would say it's more of an outlier, going for 41 fantasy points. But I think he's playable for value. More often than not, he's probably going to get like around 30 minutes. Everyone else, you saw a little bit of rotation minutes for Roby, a little bit of rotation minutes for Langford. But I don't think it's necessary to go to those guys. A few minutes for a guy like Branham as well. But yeah, let's finish it up here with Utah and Phoenix. So Utah finishing up their game right now. Mike Conley, I believe, is still going to be out for a bit. Yeah, I think he'll still be out for this game. So you should see Colin Sexton start. He didn't close, though. They closed with Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who's been like out of the rotation recently. But yeah, they've been playing their starters a lot more. the last week or so. So, the starters do look better. Marking an 8-1, he still can hurt you at this price point, but he's the guy with the highest ceiling. Clarkson's minutes have been way up. I think he looks decent there in the mid-range. Malik Beasley had an awful shooting game tonight, but that's kind of what Malik Beasley is. If he's making the shots like last game, he can go for a big, big game. If he's struggling, he can really hurt you. Olynyk, 5.4K, I think makes for a pretty safe option if he's going to see low 30s minutes. Vanderbilt, kind of a guy that can stuff the stat sheet. He's fine at 5K. Sexton probably still would be my favorite Jazz. Did play 35 minutes in the game against Detroit. Is not going to hit that in the game tonight, though, because he didn't close. But if he continues to start, I like him at that price point. And then the rest of the Jazz, THT 4-1. They actually went to Nickeil Alexander-Walker over him. I don't know if that happens again. I don't know if we have to mess with Walker Kessler either. So mainly the starters, I will say. And then Malik Beasley. If you wanted to take a shot on like THT or NAW, you can, but don't really trust the minutes there. And finally, Phoenix. So assuming that Chris Paul is still out, we kind of know what's happening for Phoenix. They're going to play the starters a lot. And Utah, not great defensively. So I actually like a lot here from Phoenix. Devin Booker, 9-7. He had a subpar game tonight. He's been a little bit quiet of late, but his floor plus ceiling does go up with Chris Paul out. Campaign, he'll do a lot of the ball handling. He's fine at that price point. DeAndre Ayton, 7-2, should play low to mid 30s minutes. He's a good option. Mikal Bridges, going to play a ton. I don't love the price point, but played 41 minutes last game there against the Lakers. Torrey Craig should start. Should play, low 30s minutes, 5.1K. Decent. Damian Lee off the bench, probably sees low to mid 20s minutes. I think he's certainly in play. Does have shooting guard, small forward eligibility too, which makes it easy for you to get him in your lineup. You want to take a shot in Dwayne Washington, that's fine. He's, he had that one really good game. I think it was last game off the bench. He came off the bench and chucked. And then Biyombo's been getting the backup 5 minutes. He is only 3.2K, so he's playable. If Aiden gets in some foul trouble, he can have a really, really solid game. So, yeah, guys, that's going to wrap it up for the video. If you have been enjoying the YouTube content, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Really do appreciate your support as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one.